I noticed some gray on the top of my head. I thought to myself, I should go back to bed. But then I remembered, as I poured me some chai, I don't have to be gray, they make a hair dye. As a man, I thought it wrong.
Hey y'all, it's Joe for here, the cranky old gay guy, and today we are going to be talking about hair coloring and why it makes me cranky. So, first things first. You'll notice that I have several, gray hairs mixed in here that I would love to change back to dark. But I have yet to find something that can do that, like an energy drink you just down and then all your hair would grow in dark again. That would be incredible. And I'm not sure why it hasn't been done yet. It's got to be possible, right? Because in today's day and age, everything is possible. So I promised that this would be a very brief video. I'm going to do minimal intro and outros on this one because I got a lot on my plate today. And this subject probably doesn't really require a lot of conversation. But with hair dye for men, I see men out and about, sometimes at a gay bar, sometimes just on the street, and their hair and their age don't line up. They're obviously coloring their hair, not because they have dark hair and they're, an 80-year-old man, but because the hair just doesn't work with their skin tone. Your hair will naturally grow in, from birth and work with your skin tone. But when you dye it, unless you get the right shade and the right dye, it looks pretty fake. Also, if you have a darker hair that's gone gray, and it's just gray like here and maybe here, but they dye their hair dark, it's one solid color, and hair is not one solid color. Most hair, unless you have jet black hair, your hair will be multicolored. A brunette might have blonde, red, dark brown, and light brown hair all on the same head. But when you dye your hair, it just goes one color. And I know someone who denies that they dye their hair, but they're older than I am, and they have absolutely no gray at all up here. But when they walk in the sunlight, the way the sun hits it, the hair that is dyed almost takes on an orange color, and it's just a big old patch, and it looks so different than the other hair on their head that it's obvious that it is dyed. So that makes me cranky. Not that they are denying they're dyeing their hair, but because the stuff that they're using isn't really keeping their secret. So maybe they need a hair dye for men called, shh, it's a secret. One that actually works. And I'd also like to see them come out with a hair dye that you can put in, and it will use multiple colors to dye your hair. So you'll have an actual range of shades that you would have naturally. That would be pretty cool as well. Next up, I have used Just for Men for this, and I find that it works better than, let's say, a hair dye you're going to use on your beard. The facial hair is much more coarse than the hair up here, but when you leave it on, they say leave it on 5 minutes. That does absolutely nothing because my hair just doesn't soak it up. And if you leave it on for 10, then you have big spots that's much darker than the rest. And again, I don't want a solid dark because at my age, a solid dark would look really fake. What I need is something like this that's blended, but not this everywhere, because you might have some darker up here, some lighter down here. And I know I could go in with Just for Men and just brush it here and brush it there, but then you have to wait, and then you have to shampoo it out or wash it out, and then does it look good or doesn't look good, or you have to go back, and it could be an all-day process trying to get that right. And my beard grows quickly, so every 3 or 4 days, if I don't trim it down, it gets kind of shaggy, and I don't like that look. It makes this part of my face like out like that, much too wide. Since I trim it every like 3 or 4 days, all the gray is coming in at the roots, and suddenly this dark is not dark anymore, and I would have to go through that whole procedure of dyeing it again. And that is a pain in the arse. Notice I said arse, because it's just like saying the other word, but it's keeping it clean and family friendly, like this channel is family friendly. So that's another crank I've got, is that they don't come out with a dye that will blend well, and they don't come out with a dye that will get into the roots so the hair will actually grow out that color. Now, I remember 10 years ago or so, there was an article out in medical journals and all over the news that gray hair was going to be a thing of the past, because they found, I think in Britain, that the cream they use to treat vitiligo, which is when the pigment in your skin turns white, it just loses all its color. They could put the cream on, and they found that if the cream was on hair, and I don't know if maybe they found it because they had someone had vitiligo up here on their head somewhere, but once it was exposed to UV light, outside sunshine, for 20 minutes or so, the hair would grow in dark. So what it did was go into the root ball and get rid of all of the, I know it sounds like hydrogen peroxide, but I don't think that's the actual term, but something that your body creates naturally. And as you age, the thing that counteracts that stops being produced. And that's why the hydrogen, whatever in your body, starts changing your hair color. And the vitiligo cream goes in there and counteracts that. So I think it lasts for a month or two, that once it's in there, it cleans all that stuff out, so all the hairs grow in a natural color again. And I have been waiting for 10 years for that to happen, since hearing about this, and supposedly it was undergoing tests. So my guess would be that either it turned out to be a permanent hair color change, and a hair coloring company like Clairol bought it or something and shelved it because it would put them out of business, or it didn't work after all. I mean, those are the two options. Because if it actually worked and it was just a 1 month thing, I think that a company that makes hair dye would have purchased it and actually marketed it as a long-term solution. They would just charge 4 or 5 times more than a regular box of dye. Okay, so that's all I have to say today. Please, if you have used men's hair or hair dye on yourself, facial, pubic hair, head on your hair on your head, let me know how you did it and how it worked. And if you had someone else do it for you, like at a salon, I know they would take the time to kind of blend it and make it look natural. But again, my hair grows really fast, so within a week, I would have so many gray roots that it would look artificial. If you've had some good experiences or some way to change your hair completely, and I know someone's going to say, well, I would just shave my head. Well, I have a very unattractive shaped head, and when I get rid of all my hair, I mean, I don't mind that look so much, but it ages me like 30 years. Yeah, and I already look like a supervillain in a Bond movie. Someone told me that once in a bar. They said, oh, you remind me of a Bond villain. It's like, that's great. And I just met the guy. But that was his first impression. And if I had a shaved head, it would even be worse. I'm going to let you all go. I'm not going to do a shout out today because I haven't thought of anyone in advance or any podcast in advance. I'm going to tell you that, that book's still out there. 35 Letters from a Mother to Her Son. It's available on Amazon. Check it out. And I think that's it. It's Sunday. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow on Monday. So have a great Sunday night. And be politically aware. That's my advice. I'll talk to y'all.
As a man, I thought it wrong to worry about the gray. But then I saw a commercial that told me it was okay. I can dye my hair anytime I want. I can wear it blue to a restaurant. I can really see if blondes have more fun, or frolic as a redhead in the warm summer sun. Hair dye a thing. No longer look down on. A man can do his thing. Today I'm a redhead, tomorrow